Let's go. Crooks. Not scored too many, but more time today in the context of this season. For Gully, Avondale, Heidelberg as well, who is looking at the heels of the league leading Avengers. And we are back now with live pitches, so thank you for your patience here at Avenger Park. Final day of the season, it's been all happening in the opening minutes. Gully often come here and do well. They won here last season, they won here in 2021. And here's a good turn by George Ott. And the bench is out of their seats, and Kerr's lurking. Krajewski, blocked away by that Gully defence. Away by Crooks. Under a little bit of pressure from Casper Hallam, who couldn't have been closer to scoring an equaliser last week on the Friday night game against the Preston Lions, in which the Cavaliers' faint finals hopes were extinguished. So thank you again for your company. Thanks for your patience on the NPL Victoria live stream this afternoon. 7 concurrent matches happening. We'll go around the grounds soon, but just to catch you up here, it was Gully with a shock opener, a little bit against the run of play. Matthew Crooks going down and scoring at the right of screen for Gully, the right back, an unlikely goal scorer, but a fine finish to get his second of the season and his 20th appearance for Gully. And then George Ott, the man who registered 3 assists and a goal in the space of 15 minutes last Sunday against South Melbourne at Lakeside in that second half demolition. Well, he's picked up where he left off there after coming on off the bench in the Australia Cup quarterfinal in midweek. He starts and he has a goal to his name already, does the big New Zealander, the big Otter. He's been in good form and he is one of the top players to watch. I fancy going into finals football in this NPL Victoria competition. Something of an old-fashioned classic number 9. Holds the ball up well, brings others into the game. Decent shot on him, good awareness, good anticipation. And, well, he's still only at a young age as well for his position somewhat. 24 years of age, the New Zealander, former youth international for the All Whites. Now the New Zealander in the squad for Avondale, Dan Edwards, is not involved. Blake Carpenter, who's been out for much of this season with injuries, including hamstring tendon issues. He's back in his familiar left-back position. So we'll just take a moment as the play slowed down a little bit to run through the teams. Zoran Markowski making 4 changes to the side that got that huge win at Green Gully Reserve against Brisbane City in midweek in the Australia Cup quarter-final. Sees Manny Agwek, Steph Valentini, Luca Tevere and Matthew Reid all dropping to the bench. 4 changes there, so they line up Tom Manos in goal. Carpenter, Bryce, Kamara and Wellsmore are the back 4. Yite Towns in front of them as the defensive midfielder. The midfield 3 also contains Sian Cuba, Christian Trajewski on the flanks. It's Stefan Zinni on this broadcast side. On the left, Kerr over on the far side, and George Ott leading the line. On the bench today, Matthew Reid, Manny Agwek, Steph Valentini, Jackson Courtney Perkins, Luca Tevere, and the sub-keeper is Mayan. And there's just one change to that Gully side as they make their final appearance for season 2025. One change to the side that went down last Friday night to Preston, an informed Preston side. Brandon Kumaneo continuing in goals. Paul Hodges comes in, as he did last week as well, at left back for Declan Wynn, who's out injured. Jalil Regaig returns for the first time since late June in central defence alongside the captain Jacob Aliopoulos, Matt Crooks, the early goal scorer at right back, the midfield 3, Gianluca Iannucci, Scott Lockhead and Aliwan Kiflay, young player who's been in form at the point of the midfield, and Josh Hope, Amir Abdallah on the flanks, and Casper Hallam leads the line for the Cavaliers this afternoon, does the young Tasmanian. Here's Iannucci under a little bit of pressure from Cuba. Aliopoulos is calm and composed, and they can clear the ball away here. Our man in the middle this afternoon is Ross Clark, so an experienced official, and he's called into action here to award the free kick after Blake Carpenter was fouled about 40 yards out from the Green Gully goal. Green Gully defending that Brunswick Road end of the venue, the left of your screen at home. Trajewski thought about taking it quickly. On the bench today for the Cavaliers, Zach Puharovic, Brian Inman, one of the mid-season signings. Shifa Ahmed, another mid-season signing, returning back to the club from Western United. Braden Portali, Carlin Manzi, and the sub-keeper is Thomas Favero. There is no David Schick on the bench, who's serving a touchline ban this afternoon, picking up his 6th yellow card. Here's Kamara. Oh, and good judge of the shot by Brandon Kumaneo, who has a little discussion with some of the youngsters gathered behind the goal there. Certainly hear them in our effects mic making a bit of a nuisance of themselves, putting a bit of pressure on the goalkeeper from beyond the perimeter of the spectators' fence. Some early chances in this one when it was still locked at 0-0. Fell to Stefan Zinni in the opening minute, was thwarted by the Gully defence. George Ott had a shot blocked as well in the opening minutes, and Sian Cuba got in behind the defence. Looked like he was in one-on-one with Brandon Kumaneo, but saw the assistant referee's flag raised for offside. Here's Lockhead charging through the centre of the park. Trycheski put an arm around him. No foul is the call, and Zinni, who was gambling up on the last line of defence, is onside here. He's got Aliopoulos to beat. This is Stefan Zinni. Shapes for the shot. It's blocked by Aliopoulos. Oh, and it almost fell to Sian Cuba, who was really well positioned about 12 yards out from goal. That's a touch off the shin pad for Scott Lockhead, and you can see him rue that moment straight away. Well, he made a marauding run through the centre of the park, did Scott Lockhead. Here's Ott. He's just so dangerous in the penalty area there. Good duel between he and Jacob Aliopoulos. Really good to see Jacob Aliopoulos back in the second part of this season in the armband for the Cavaliers. He was a good off-season recruit, and then unfortunately missed so much football early in the year. And well, Gully's defensive record is probably reflective of that particular fact as well. Conceded 40 goals this season. We'll make that 41 now, with George Ott scoring against them this afternoon. Here's Iannucci lining up in the centre of the park today, as he did last Friday night. Does the full 360. Plays it out wide. And it's Kiflay winning the free kick. And what a goal he scored 2 weeks ago in the match at Lakeside Stadium against South Melbourne. Really good strike from the outside of just outside the box to beat Harvey Lopez. One of the top keepers at this level. NPL football anywhere in Australia is Harvey Lopez, but Kiflay just about having a coming-of-age season, and it looks like he's actually lining up out on the left side to allow Josh Hope to play in the number 10 role for the moment. Perhaps a little bit of interchange between those two players, but here's Iannucci to deliver the free kick. In it comes, and Tom Manos is quickly to judge that flight through the air and claim that one. Didn't have to worry about the sun in his eyes with the ball coming from that eastern side of the venue over there. Here's Towns. What a week it's been for Avondale as well. It's been a busy week. This is their third game in the space of 7 days. And their women's side have been in great form, getting another win last night. Team with depth and quality, the likes of Matilda Starr, at least Cullen Knight in their ranks, and they have claimed the Premier's Plate in the VPLW, but it's a matter of whether the men can claim the Premier's Plate in the NPLW this afternoon, sorry, the NPLM this afternoon, should I say, and well, we will see Avondale's women's program moving up to the top tier of Victorian football next season, so that is definitely great to see for everyone here at Avenger Park, putting in a great work for their women's program. It's the other match around the grounds. We'll keep an eye on Heidelberg and Port Melbourne down the road. Here's the other match that is of interest. Heidelberg, they trail just by 2 points behind Avondale. They led the NPL Victoria for so much of this season. And they were beaten here a couple of match days ago on a similar sunny, glorious sunny Saturday afternoon. Avondale had taken bit of a hit going behind early through Bourgeois, and they came storming back home. Steph Valentini scoring in the last minute of stoppage time. 103rd minute goal to sink the Warriors, and put Avondale to the top of the table, and they're hoping to stay there at the end of play today. Here's Kerr playing it in, and Jalil Regaig making that welcome return into the central defensive position this afternoon is on hand to turn that one out of play over near the spectators' entry gate over there, which has been working overtime because there's been plenty of fans pouring through to see if the Avengers can claim a second Premier's Plate in the NPL Victoria men's competition in the space of 3 years, claiming their first one in 2023. They don't mind doing things in odd years as well. They got their first Doherty Cup in 2021. And here we are in 2025 and poised for the potential for a trophy lift, which we will hope to bring to you at full time if that is the case. Gully trying to play it from the back here. Aliopoulos, he's a little bit careless there. He's given it to Zinni. Sian Cuba. Good tackle by Scott Lockhead, getting back to win the ball back. And here is Josh Hope playing in that attacking midfield role. Oh, his touch was a little heavy, and it's well read by the Avondale captain, Aidan Bryce. Avondale again looking to go so quickly forward through the flanks. Kerr is motoring forward. Kumaneo does really well in the end. A little bit of a collision between the two players, but Kumaneo held his ground well and claimed the football. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Saturday afternoon football, final day of the season proper. Steve Curtin with you for this one between the league leaders Avondale and 8th placed Green Gully Cavaliers. Green Gully, they won't go up, they won't go down on the table, but they miss finals again, and that'll frustrate the Cavaliers, who've been NPL Victoria's nearly men for a few years now since their last finals campaign. Couldn't quite string together the consistency to challenge for that 6th spot on the table, despite always being within cooee of it for the bulk of the season. Bryce's ball forward. That's a good one too for the overlapping left back, Blake Carpenter. Zinni now, those two combining well down this broadcast side. He looks to get the ball into the box. It's well away by Regaig. Good first touch by Towns and Trycheski. It's Cuba. It's a similar look starting 11 to what Avondale turned out in the league last weekend. As we said, it's 4 changes from their cup lineup in midweek in the match against Brisbane City. But it's just only one player different to that team that smacked South Melbourne 5-0. The youthful South Melbourne, albeit Luca Tevere started in that one in midfield, but Christian Trycheski back in that spot in the league this afternoon. So that midfield 3 composition, Ute Towns, the deeper lying number 6, and then the 2 8s, Cuba and Trycheski. Cuba full of running, looking to make a statement here. These players, they want to certainly put their best foot forward and claim their spot in the starting 11 leading into the NPL Victoria finals and that big semi-final in the Australia Cup, which is on a date still to be confirmed, but hopefully it will be scheduled accordingly around the commitments of the NPL Victoria final system. Avondale will get a break next week, so there is a chance that could be played next weekend. Ball into the box, away by Kalalu Kamara. And it's a good diving header as well. He summed up the situation very quickly. Kalalu Kamara preferred to Matt Reid this afternoon in the starting 11. Here's Abdullah. He's been well marshalled by Blake Carpenter and co back there as he looks to try and get involved and make his imprint on the game. Does Amir Abdullah. He has 10 goals this season. A few of them from the spot, but he certainly set the bar high last year as Cuba gets the 7-iron under that one across the face of the goal and out of play. Harmlessly enough in the end. So end-to-end stuff. Good entertainment for the fans who have turned out here this afternoon for this one. 16 degrees and sunny in Parkville. Very good conditions to enjoy as a spectator. Probably almost a little warm for the players out there. Perhaps that's why we see Brandon Kumino just taking a little bit of time off the clock here, just to let the players have a little bit of a breather before they restart. As we said, Ross Clark, experienced match official in charge of this one. Martin John and John White are the assistants, and Rowan Nagansa is the fourth official. Just in front of our broadcast position here on the Tullamarine Freeway side of Avenger Park. Bryce is going to go back across his goal to Manos. Wellsmore. Trycheski under pressure from Scott Lockhead. And he turns his man and he plays quickly and directly as well. Really good ball from Christian Trycheski. Well, we might have spoken too soon. There's a little bit of breeze, picked up that pass, and even the pacey Stefan Zinni, who looks like he's getting back to his full fitness, the 29-year-old. Even he was unable to run that one down in the end. Nonetheless, a really good turn. Good contested play in the centre of the park from Trycheski. Just overhitting the pass again. As we see Green Gully playing out from the back. Aliopoulos, that's a crafty touch by Josh Hope to bring Abdullah into the game. And he's running at Bryce and he picks his pass inside. Josh Hope is frustrated with himself as he beats his hands to his side because he showed a little bit more of that ball to Kalalu Kamara than he was hoping. Nonetheless, Gully back in possession here, and Abdullah getting himself into the game. Here's Lockhead. He's got Ali Kiflay out wide, sprays the pass out and hits him lace out. Lockhead now. The shackles have certainly been released off this Gully side. They can just go out and play without any pressure this afternoon. As we said, they're not going to go up. They're not going to go down the table. They're going to finish in 8th this season, which is disappointing in terms of what their expectations were at the start of the year. But well, it is still an improvement on last year where the wheels fell off and they were not that far away from the dreaded relegation zone. As the ball comes into the box, well, that could be a handball by Ute Towns. Ross Clark says, play it on. Well, even Ute Towns was considering stopping play there. He might have been almost a little bit too honest, and now Cuba is motoring forward. Pressure from Gianluca Iannucci. Sees it out of play. Gianluca Iannucci nearing game 100 in NPL Victoria. Game number 97 today for the kid from Cobram that was scouted and come down to the Melbourne Victory down here in the Big Smoke. And he's made quite a good imprint for himself out at Keilor Downs. He's been involved in coaching the NPL juniors and scoring some spectacular goals for the senior men's side in the last couple of years since joining the team in green and white. Here's Towns. And if you have just joined us, it was Matthew Crooks, the right back for Gully, opening the scoring on 11 minutes as that header by Rigag is safely back to Kumaneo. And only 4 minutes later, the goal was cancelled out by the New Zealander, the in-form, the red-hot striker, George Ott, levelling things up at 1-1. George Ott preferred to Manny Agwek, who was also in good form in midweek in that Australia Cup quarter-final, scoring a hat-trick against Brisbane City. Green Gully reserve. Bit of space here for Hope. Fires the shot. Oh, and it was just a little bit too straight down the middle, and Manos was able to claim, but he's giving a bit of a lecture to his defence because Josh Hope was shown a good pocket of space there around the D, and we've seen him score a lot of goals from that sort of position before. Josh Hope with 8 goals in the league this season. Oh, a bit of a mistake by Crooks. He shows too much of it to Zinni, who tries to lob it over Kumaneo, and the spectators are ducking for cover behind the goal in the end rather than the scoreboard attendant there. A good opportunity for Zinni, and it was handed to him. Gilt-edge chance by mistake from that Gully defence. So 38 minutes gone here at Avenger Park in Parkville. A glorious Saturday afternoon. 7 games happening concurrently in the NPL Victoria for the final round. Relegation was already decided last week. Melbourne Knights, Port Melbourne and Melbourne Victory, the unfortunate three to be lining up in VPL 1 football next season. That's a good turn by Yitte Towns, the man who recently brought up 200 games for the Avengers in all competitions, and he's nearing in on 200 games in NPL Victoria as well. Here's the number 6 from Tasmania, another one of the Tasmanians out there today. We've got Hallam and Hope and Towns as well. Kerr looking ominous here. The dancing feet from Kerr and Zinni lining up. Well played again from Aliopoulos. Again, reading the play expertly, coming out to make the challenge. Hallam trying to get involved in the game. He's been working hard, trying to occupy the defenders. He's not your classic sort of old-fashioned number 9 like George Ott at the other end. As Gully have employed in recent years more of a mosquito fleet system up front. That is Hallam leading the line through the middle. Kiflay on the left and Abdullah on the right. Trying to stretch. Avondale back 4 is the Gully front 3. Kamara, he got a full head of steam up there and he was brought down by Hallam. So goals that have gone in around the grounds over at Summer Street. The Melbourne Knights 0. Altona Magic 3, so Altona really rubbing salt into the wounds for the Melbourne Knights. Here's Kerr, will stay with play here. He gets past Hodges. Zinni now. They're queuing up here, the Avengers. Trajczewski can't find space for the shot. Good defending again by Lockhead. Hodges playing it up the line. Abdullah is there. And now Crooks clears the danger. Well played by Hallam there against the bigger defender. Got forward and cushioned it down on his chest to Iannucci. It's 0-0 at the home of the Matildas between Melbourne Victory and Dandenong City. Oakley Cannons are leading a 10-man South Melbourne by a goal to 0 over at Jack Edwards Reserve. And Heidelberg United are in the lead at JL Murphy. They lead 1-0 against Port Melbourne. Preston Lions leading 1-0 over at Jenna Steele Stadium over in Reservoir against Dandenong Thunder. And it's 0-0 at Churchill Reserve between St Albans and Hume City. In a match between two sides that I don't think will be playing finals football this year. Definitely not St Albans. And it would be rather unlikely if we see Hume City make a charge to get that top 6 spot. They held it for so long this season, did Hume City, and they managed to throw it away in the final days with a bad run of results over the last 6 weeks. Dandenong City were ready and willing and stepped up to the plate with the hammering of the Melbourne Knights last week, moving themselves up into the top 6. Finals football kicking off in NPL Victoria next weekend. 2 elimination finals. Check your local guides for those ones during the week. Oh, what a ball that is by Stefan Zinni to release Kerr. And he's got plenty of green grass ahead of him here. He gets to the byline, looking for options. He had Trajczewski making the back post run, and he couldn't find anyone in a blue shirt how to play for an Avondale corner kick. Kerr over to take. Kumanea organising his penalty area here. Kalaloo Kamara, George Ott and Aidan Bryce are the big threats lurking around the penalty spot. It's in by Kerr. Nice shape on it too. Punched away by Kumaneo. Potentially could have attempted to claim, but decided to play it safe. Trajczewski, a judge to have fouled his opponent there, and the pressure release valve can be pressed down firmly for Gully after defending the set piece well in the end. Another goal out at Jenna Steele Stadium. Preston Lions doubling their lead against the Dandenong Thunder. Importantly, Oakley Cannons are still leading at home against South Melbourne. Take a look at the live ladder as we head into the halftime interval, which isn't too far away. Coaches preparing their team talks. Avondale subs are up off the bench going through some warm-up routines, perhaps keeping some of the starting 11 players on their toes leading into the halftime break. It's a little bit late from George Ott, and we might see the first yellow card of the afternoon issued here by Ross Clark. Not a lot of malice in it, but Matty Crooks feels a bit aggrieved that he was sent about 6 foot up into the air after making the clearance. So into the last minute of regulation first half time. Locked at 1-1 here. Casper Hallam climbing all over Aiden Bryce. No foul. It was running through to Tom Manos in any case, and he releases Wellsmore, and you can just see the Avengers looking for one last charge to give themselves that go-ahead goal before the halftime interval. And that pass by Wellsmore was uncharacteristically off target and unable to find Kerr. We can confirm that there is just the solitary additional minute added on at the end of the first half. The fourth official in front of us in the shadows, working down there, is Rowan Nagansa. Trycheski looking to turn and face forward. He was well marshalled by Gianluca Iannucci. Going to ground off the ball was Hodges and Kerr. And it was the flying winger who's the judge to have committed the foul there. Well, big shock down at JL Murphy. Port Melbourne have equalised against Heidelberg United. They're already relegated Port Melbourne side. Just playing for pride. They've levelled things up down at JL Murphy, and it's all square here, which sees the live ladder showing Avondale maintaining that 2-point advantage over second place. That will see them lift the Premier's plate this afternoon at full time, if that is to stay the case, for the second time in 3 seasons. We'll leave you for a short halftime interval here at halftime. 1-1 between Avondale and Green Gully. Matty Crooks on target on 11 minutes. George Ott with a reply on 15 minutes. Avondale doing enough.
Let's go!
Well, hello and welcome back for the second 45 NPL Victoria, round 26, final day frenzy underway here. 1-1 between Avondale and Green Gully. Avondale with that 2-point cushion that would see them claim the Premier's plate. And there's a halftime change. Luca Tevere, who was on fire in midweek against Brisbane City in the Australia Cup, enters the fray and comes into midfield. And it looks like Christian Trycheski is the player who's being sacrificed at halftime. So a good opportunity for Luca Tevere to put his best foot forward, the 23-year-old. One or two rumours that he's being looked at by a couple of clubs in A-League ranks at the moment. And understandably so. His form has been fantastic in recent weeks. He's had a really good year since coming across from Green Gully against his former team today. And he put in so many good performances before his Green Gully stint at Port Melbourne as well, as one of those two number 10s with Valley Chesnick behind Chris Duggan in that Port Melbourne side that played finals football. It's a far cry from the fate of the Sharks this season, who were confirmed as being relegated last week, but their role in today's proceedings is playing against Heidelberg United, the would-be Premier's Plate winners up until a couple of weeks ago. They're being held 1-1 a short time ago. Ball across the face of the goal. Really good enterprising play again from George Ott. The big man can also dribble and run with the ball as well, but it's an offside decision. Assistant referee Martin John down there raising the flag. Real sense of anticipation in the air at half-time. We saw the club parading the VPLW Premier's Plate that the women's side from Avondale has claimed last week. They've got a couple of games to go, but it's already claimed the Premier's Plate and already sealed promotion into the NPLW for season 2026. So congratulations to everyone involved with the Avondale women's program. Here's Ott back to goal. Pressure from Regaig. Over the age of 30 involved in today's game. Here's Ott. Lockhead receiving from Kiflay. Ute Towns going to ground. He felt that he might have got a poke in the eye, and he's certainly sold that well enough to convince Ross Clark that it should be an Avondale free kick in a useful position here. So it might be the halftime sub, Lucas Tevere, who's interested in taking it. Kerr is wandering over as well. Sian Cuba also interested. Brandon Kumineo, two in the wall. Kumineo looking straight into the afternoon setting sun here. To be looking to lob this one up to the back post you fancy, unless the ultimate deception is at play and he wants to try and aim for the top right-hand corner. He plays it in, well read by Jalil Regaig. Down at J.L. Murphy Reserve for Heidelberg to turn around that 8-goal differential between the two sides. Avondale really boosting their chances with that 5-0 win against South Melbourne last Sunday down at Lakeside. What a performance that was, by the way, albeit against a younger South Melbourne side. banging in the goals in that 15-minute onslaught that saw George Ott get 3 assists registered and a goal as well. One of the best attacking returns, if not the best ever, in that window of time in the NPL era by the big New Zealander. Fantastic performance from him. And it's a competitive spot, that number 9 position for Avondale, with George Ott coming back from injury. Matty Agwek, the other option there, scoring a hat-trick against Brisbane City in the 6-2 win that they had when they were acting as tenants out at Green Gully Reserve for use of the bright floodlights out there at Keilor Downs. Might have been almost a handball by Zinni, but he brings it under control. Play on's the call. Good pressure by Kiflay, trying to release Hallam. It's a little bit too isolated up there. In any case, was Casper Hallam, and Kalalu Kamara was able to get the ball under control. And it's been all Avondale since the half-time. In the first half, we are told that that goal that we credited to Matthew Crooks on 11 minutes is actually an Aiden Bryce own goal. So Aiden Bryce an own goal with the first time we saw the scoreboard attendant called into action this afternoon, and then it was George Ott converting from fairly close range on 15 minutes, which sees us locked at 1-1. And here's Carl Imanzi, who's entered the fray as well at halftime for Green Gully. Here he is anchoring the midfield. Looks like Gianluca Iannucci is the player who's gone off at halftime. So an early mark for Iannucci, who finishes season 2025 playing 24 games, 2 league goals for him. Tevere. Kamara galloping forward. Hallam with a handful of the blue shirt there, the royal blue at full stretch. Good ball, Cuba. Here's Kerr, fires the shot across the face of the goal, not far away. Kumaneo at full stretch. Kerr, who lined up on the right flank in the first. Plenty of space here for Blake Carpenter. And the South Aussie is galloping over the halfway line and into the final third of the pitch here. He's got Kerr in support. This is Kerr, ball into the box. Zinni can't hook it back into the goal mouth. George Ott was lurking 6 yards out from goal. Wellsmore with the interception. Well played, Regaig. Said he's been out for so long, has Jalil Regaig. Hasn't played since the 3-2 loss. That was the loss that just about broke the Green Gully season back on the 27th of June, back in round 20. Flick on by Hallam is straight to Tevere, former Gully midfielder. Aiden Bryce. Oh, there was plenty on that. looking to make amends for being credited with that 11th minute own goal. It sent some auditable gasps across the venue here. Green Gully taking the lead on the day that Avondale are hoping to be paraded as the premiers of NPL Victoria for 2025. Here's Hodges, the black-booted defender. And he finds Kiflay, who's playing in a slightly deeper role this half, and he felt that challenge from Luca Tevere. Now to play in front of the Avondale technical area. A clap of encouragement from Warren Markowski. Certainly got his poker face on that otherwise. Perfect afternoon for football. Perfect afternoon for watching football as well. The fans over on the far side, drenched in the glorious August afternoon sunshine here in Avenger Park in Melbourne's inner north. Here's Carly Marnsey for Gully. He's got the long sleeves on nonetheless. Not feeling the heat out there too much. The halftime substitute. Perhaps unlucky not to make the starting 11 in the last couple of weeks, Carly Marnsey. He's been good when he's been called upon. He's featured in 23 matches out of the 26 this season, after making the matchday squad over at Hume City last year 7 times. Another player looking to have his coming-of-age season, perhaps leading into next year. Ball over the top. Here's Luca Tevere making the run beyond the number 9. Dropping back in possession now, looking for Cuba. He was well marshalled by Aliopoulos. The Gully captain doing his job well once again. Saturday afternoon, NPL Victoria. season. To the fourth official. He's in. We'll film this for you in a moment. Valentini looks like he's ready to be unleashed, as is Manny Agwick. So firepower aplenty available to Zoran Markowski. We'll stay with play here as Cuba's got space for the cross. Tevere. Oh, well played, Imanzi. Oh, and he's conceded the free kick here. Could this be the moment for the go-ahead goal? Cuba is over it. Kerr is interested as well. 4 in the wall for Gully. It's Cuba! Heart-in-mouth moment there. And it goes past the post in the end. Not far away. Brad and Kumaneo and the Green Gully wall doing their job just well enough. So we've got that double change for Avondale. Agwick and Valentini coming on. It's also a double change for Green Gully as well. Zach Puharovic coming on, as well as the mid-season signing Ryan Inman. Came in from Kingston City with a big impact. Scored in his first game. Coming up from the VPL 1. Going off for Avondale, it's Kerr and Stefan Zinni. And going off for Gully, it's Ali Kiflay and Paul Hodges. So a chance here for Zach Puhalovic, is in the number 3 jersey, 19 years of age. Spent some time at Melbourne Victory last season in their VPL 1 title win. Inman. Ryan Inman is in the number 4 jersey. Looks like he's going to line up in defensive midfield. Perhaps Carl Imanzi moving a fraction further forward. Zach Puharovic, who's lining up as the left back. So no Declan Wynn, who's held down that position most of the season, the South African-born left back, but he's missed last week and he's missed this week through injury. So just looking around the grounds again, it is still 1-1 down at Port Melbourne. Heidelberg looking for that go-ahead goal to keep the pressure on Avondale. Another goal at Summer Street. Altona Magic scoring a 4th against the Melbourne Knights. Melbourne Knights coming off a humiliating loss down at Frank Holohan against their sister club, Dandenong City, last weekend. Not backing it up with a great performance this afternoon on their final day in the NPL Victoria competition. Lockhead at full stretch, can't keep that ball in play. Stefan Zinni just getting one or two instructions from Zoran Markowski, trying to get himself into the game. What an impact he had coming on against Heidelberg United in that season-defining clash here a few weeks ago. Ball over the top. Puhalovic and Zinni. Good touch. Agwek, Cuba in space. Sent onto his left foot. Carpenter. He's motoring forward. Just stops and props now. Can he get a ball into the box? Kumaneo not taking any chances. Does well in the end. So Gully tasked with defending this Avondale corner kick. And it's Tevere to take. Decent ball into the back post area. Valentini! Well, he's only been on the pitch a matter of minutes. And could that be the goal to seal the Premier's plate for Avondale? Steph Valentini. Space and time at the back post. Just to nod that one across the goal line. And in the 70th minute here, Avondale get the go-ahead goal. Zinni rising above the pack of players. Great vertical leap. Nodding home. And the fans gathered here in the grandstand know the gravity of that goal. That was a gravity-defying leap by Valentini. And what a quality ball as well by Luca Tevere, a player who's been in such good form. Really showcasing all of his skills. He was on the score sheet from the spot in midweek on Wednesday against Brisbane City out at Green Gully Reserve in the Australia Cup. And his set piece was on point there. Valentini throwing his weight around a little bit at the young Green Gully left back there. Certainly a player who's not short on confidence. Steph Valentini will be oozing out of him now after that goal. So no doubt the Heidelberg technical area will be just keeping tabs of what's happening here. And if they're checking, they'll be seeing that Avondale is in the lead for the first time this afternoon here at Avenger Park. They went behind on 11 minutes. Matty Crooks involved in what was awarded an Aidan Bryce own goal. George Ott equalising on 15 minutes. And Steph Valentini off the bench with a bang. To give the Avengers the lead, and maybe even more here for Steph Valentini. Running at Jalil Regaig. Oh, well played by Scott Lockhead. Oh, Valentini's given away the foul there. Zach Puhalovic doing well. Good duel between those two. The 29-year-old Valentini and the 19-year-old Puhalovic. Josh Hope. Overlap from Crooks. Carpenter to beat. Tries to go the long way around. It's a move that seldom comes off, and this time is no exception. Wellsmore. Like like he almost trod on the ball, but he managed to find Ute Towns with a plom. And now Carpenter finds Agwek and on the far side. Hope playing down the line, looking for Hallam. Bryce is going to get there first. And it's well played in the end by Aiden Bryce. Handled the situation. Passed it with flying colours. Here's Kamara. He's going on an adventure here, Kalaloo Kamara, and he finds Cuba. Looks like he's shifted out wide left for the moment. Agwek. Flags down. Still he goes, Manny Agwek. He's another player who's high on confidence after that midweek hat-trick. Such a dominant display by him last week. He scored both of Avondale's goals last time these sides met in that remarkable 5-2 win for Green Gully out at Green Gully Reserve back on the 9th of May. Avondale haven't lost in the league since that day. They went down in the Doherty Cup semi-final, but in NPL Victoria haven't tasted defeat in 13 rounds. Here's Avdallah, who's been a little bit too quiet in this second 45 so far. He doesn't see anything he likes ahead of him. Plenty of blue shirts. When he looked up and scanned the field, Imanzi, George Ott putting the pressure on, defending from the front. Inman's ball forward. Well played again by the South Aussie Blake Carpenter. Regaig looking to take after Kalaloo Kamara at the other end and go on his own adventure, and he plays it out to Abdullah and continues to run into the box. Abdullah tackled by Carpenter, and it's all ball. Not trying to seize the chance while Gully are a central defender short. After the forward run by Regaig, and here's Valentini. He's already got one, and that's just past the post for Steph Valentini. Well, a brace off the bench would be just what the doctor ordered for Steph Valentini. He's probably kicking himself. He couldn't angle that one inside the post. He scored the opening goal for Avondale last weekend on 26 minutes against South Melbourne. On target again on Wednesday night at this same point of time in the game against Brisbane City. He had played that match from the start as opposed to today, coming on off the bench. Coming on with the impact of the go-ahead goal. It could gift the Premier's plate to the boys in Royal Blue this afternoon. Here's Hallam. Gully aren't going to give up the ghost just yet. They want to finish the season on a high note. They're going to finish it on eighth place in the league. But they'd love to finish it with a result. No one's done the double against Avondale since 2022. Just Avondale, that they don't taste defeat too often. They lost in the first half of the season to the Thunder and Heidelberg. And as we mentioned, Green Gully. They've been held plenty of times, including matches played here at their own venue in the back half of the season, but never beaten. Another change coming up by the looks of it here. And it's going to be Braden Portelli getting his chance in the senior team here for the Cavaliers for the 8th time in 2025. To confirm who the player will be coming off. Well, there's a couple more goals gone in at JL Murphy Reserve. Interestingly, that's a goal apiece, which sees the scores locked at a dramatic 2-2 there. So at the moment, Avondale are a long way off being mown down by Heidelberg United in the Premier's Plate race. As it stands, Green Gully would need to score twice, and Heidelberg would need to take the lead down there at J.L. Murphy, but it's Avondale doing all the attacking here, looking to seal things off. Cuba, oh, well played Kumaneo. Might be having his best game so far in a Green Gully shirt since coming across in the mid-season window. Man who lined up at Northcote City last season, the Queenslander. Making his 6th appearance in a Gully shirt. His debut wasn't one that he'd like to remember. Sent off after having to come out and challenge after trying to chase down a short back pass. But he's been under the pump today, and he's held strong for large periods of time against the most devastating attack in NPL Victoria, Avondale. They've scored 66 goals in the league this season. And there might be more to come as well on the final day of the season proper here. 11 minutes of regular time plus stoppages remain. Ball forward, George Ott sees the flag raised. Martin John, the assistant referee, was right onto that one, and George Ott had moved on beyond the defensive line of Green Gully. Aliopoulos and Regag marshalling the back four very well, and that's going to be the end of the shift for Amir Abdullah, the big off-season signing from Hume City. 14 goals for Hume City last season. NPL Victoria gold medal winner of 2024. He backed it up with a return of 10 goals for his new club, the Cavaliers, this season. Not quite hitting the heights of last year. Certainly showing some flashes of quality as he looks to reflect on season 2025. Josh Hope winning the free kick. Well, it's been a pretty dismal second 45 in terms of attacking opportunities for the Cavaliers, not really forcing any saves out of Tom Manos to speak of. It's time to turn that around, and they might get an opportunity here with the free kick that they've picked up. Just a lot of hassling and pressuring there from Casper Hallam. Does the trick, and they get the opportunity from the set piece. Looks like Ryan Inman, the second half substitute, wants to take. Or will it be Josh Hope? If they want to turn this around and try and get themselves a final day win and do an unlikely double over Avondale, they want to get the ball rolling reasonably quickly here. They're just taking their time. Ross Clark organising the wall to be the required 10 yards back. Avondale coaching staff getting Matt Reid ready to come on. Would it be an extra defender or a like for like? We'll wait and see. Inman's ball into the back post area. There's no one at home for the Cavaliers, and it's a disappointing set piece opportunity as they look at one another with looks of confusion. They haven't had much to go off in this second 45, and they didn't make the most of that moment. So well into the last 10 minutes here. 8.5 to go plus stoppages. The Premier's Plate parade is almost ready to kick off if things remain like this. Crooks under pressure from Agwerk. Carpenter with the interception. Blake Carpenter, who scored last week, gets the ball into the box. It's away by Ryan Inman. Agwerk's header finds Towns. Good pressure from him, Marnsey. Play on's the call here. Marnsey looks to play it through for Hallam. But it's, again, really well read. He just does read the game so well, Kalalu Kamara there. Full credit to the big central defender. And again, it's just so competitive for spots in this Avondale side. Kamara and Reid both job sharing that position alongside Aiden Bryce a little bit, being rotated in and out of the team in the league and cup. Like a clumsy foul there by the New Zealander, George Ott. And the Otters happy to concede the free kick there, you fancy. He's put plenty of pressure on that Green Gully defence when they've been in possession up there, the Cavaliers. Now the tempo just slowing a bit here. I wonder if Avondale feel that they're almost in a position to conserve energy. I'm sure the coaching staff won't be thinking that on the sidelines. Zoran Markowski having a bit to say right now to the players to keep the tempo up. He can sense it as well. He doesn't want his team to take the foot off the gas, not with 7 minutes of regulation time to go. Gully's first half goal did come against the run of play. Something of a surprise to the Avondale fans gathered here. Nice turn by Tevere. He goes back to the club room side of the venue over there. Well, Manos nearly let it run behind him. Kamara. Perhaps Avondale just trying to bait the Gully defenders forward and then play quick and direct through their defensive lines. Valentini, the pass was just a little behind him. Wellsmore's going to provide the overlap. And it's well played again. Zach Puhavic doing what he needed to do and being in the right position, the left back. So it's going to be Emlyn Wellsmore, the player coming off. So it's a fullback for a central defender here. Oh, in fact, Wellsmore's taking the throw. Well, we still don't know who the player is coming off. Oh, it's Sion Cuba. He's in no hurry. Yeah, he has worked his socks off there and he's bent down and pulled the shin pads out. He's going off the pitch in a freeze frame here, Sion Cuba. Good shift by the Queenslander. I'd love to see his GPS stats. He covers so much of the pitch. So it's an extra central defender out there. I won't say Avondale's parking the bus, not something you associate with Avenger Zoki Markowski ball, but they have gone with the three central defenders for the moment. Bryce, Reed, and Kalalu Kamara. Reed is the man playing a quasi-sweeper role between the two aforementioned central defenders. Good interception by Agwek. Yute Towns in space. Agwek just let that one roll behind him. Interesting seeing Agwek and Ott deployed at the same time. They have been job sharing that number 9 role a little bit. Agwek playing a little bit deeper as a 8 or a 10. Here he is picking up the ball in the little half space. Tevere switching the play for Carpenter. In this glorious late winter sunshine, Saturday afternoon football. NPL final day. Hope you're enjoying the action. Steve Curtin with you on the broadcast. Avondale fans certainly be enjoying the way this one's playing out. It was an exciting end-to-end first half. The second half hasn't been electric. It's been highlighted by a Steph Valentini goal coming on off the bench. Rising above the rest, an odd homer, Luca DeVere. Corner kick. Green Gully defence all at sea. Green Gully, for all their efforts, still unable to fire a shot in anger in this second half. Sliding in was Portali. Inman. Diagonal ball. Lockhead is in the wide right position. Carpenter's been really solid this afternoon. Getting back to his best form after missing a lot of football through injury this season. Cutting a frustrated figure on the sidelines. Making his 8th league appearance. Good to see him back in the fray. He was out there on Wednesday night in the Cup as well. So obviously handling the load well. Back-to-back starting 11s. He actually started last Sunday against South Melbourne as well. So 3 appearances in the starting 11 in the space of 7 days for Blake Carpenter. Looks like he has fully recovered from a hamstring tendon injury that he was suffering not too long ago. Avondale are still without Yusuf Ahmed, the second top scorer this season with 7 goals. Avondale had a bunch of 5 players, all on 5 goals in the league going into this match. Ott, Kerr, Zinni, Valentini and Tevere. Ott and Valentini have made it 6 apiece this afternoon. He's been biding his time on the sidelines here, but Jackson Courtney-Perkins is going to be brought into the fray. It looks like George Ott is going off on the far side, making the long way around. So the move will see Manny Aguek pushing up into the number 9 role you fancy. Looks like Valentini moving out to the left wing and Courtney-Perkins playing as the right winger. We've seen Courtney-Perkins deployed as a fullback this season more times than he's been used as a winger, but he'll enjoy the extra freedom in the final few minutes. Shifa Ahmed coming on for the Cavaliers to replace Casper Hallam. Shifa Ahmed looking for his first goal after his return to the club from Western United. He was prolific last year, but his stocks haven't continued to rise in value at the same rate as they were in 2024. Still plenty of time for Shifa Ahmed to do some more special things, the 18-year-old. Regag. Imanzi. Good switch of play. Crooks in plenty of space on the far side. Got a full-time score at Knight Stadium. Melbourne Knights 1, Altona Magic 5. That all-Western suburbs clash. Melbourne Knights, fate sealed last week, back down to the VPL 1 in Victoria's second tier. Relegated for the first time in 4 decades, 5 decades in fact. Valentini a little theatrical as he goes to ground. Got confirmation of an additional 3 minutes that will be added on. So the champagne bottles on the sidelines being readied here. It's still 2-2 down at Port Melbourne between the Sharks and Heidelberg United. So there's no pressure coming from down by Port Phillip Bay, but there is from Courtney-Perkins, and it's a good reflex save in the end for Kumaneo, who that ball might have taken a touch off the studs of Jacob Aliopoulos perhaps. Kumaneo pretty well for himself. Yes, he has conceded 2 goals this afternoon, but I'd say it's the best performance I've seen him put forward in a Green Gully shirt so far, but he could be called into action here. Comes off his line, does well again, passes the test. Gully giving away the ball in the centre of the park, and you can see the arguments between the players. Josh Hope frustrated. Ryan Inman not in full agreement. So we're into the 2nd minute of added time of an added 3. And they're almost there, the Avengers. And Green Gully, like they've been awestruck this afternoon by this Avengers side. Full time at J.L. Murphy. St Albans 0, Hume City 4. So Hume City coming home with a wet sail. A shocking back end of the season. They've backloaded their goal scoring for this afternoon. St Albans with a couple of heavy losses in their final 2 games of the season. Big contest here. Avondale would love a goal to put the icing on the cake here. It's Manny Aguek running at Aliopoulos. Touch is too heavy. Kumaneo out to claim. And that will just about do us here at Avenger Park. As all eyes will start to look towards Ross Clark as if he's going to reach for that whistle. You wouldn't say I've done it in a canter looking at the scoreboard, but it's been a very comfortable second half performance by Avondale. Handshakes happening in the technical area. Players are up, ready to celebrate. Carpenter sends the throw forward. And Avondale are premiers again for a second time in NPL Victoria. They've left the competition awestruck. They've been awesome. They've been outstanding. They have been the Avengers. Your 2025 NPL Victoria Premiership winners. They were sitting in behind. They were pacing in behind that Heidelberg United side for the bulk of the season. And the tipping point when the tables turned with that dramatic late win here against Heidelberg just a few weeks ago. And they've done it again today. 2-1 again. That's all they needed to do. Heidelberg look like they've been held 2-2 down at Port Melbourne. And stay with us because we will be live as we bring you an on-camera view of the celebration in just a few moments. So don't go anywhere, Avondale fans, as the Avengers are ready to be presented with their second NPL Victoria Premier's plate, and congratulations to them. They get the job done. Steph Valentini with the winning goal coming on in the second half on 71 minutes, nodding home from a Luca Tevere corner kick. It was George Ott equalising on 15 minutes early in the first half after Matty Crooks was involved in a goal that ended up being credited as an own goal by Aidan Bryce. And that sees the Avengers top of the table. Only 3 defeats for the whole season, 19 wins and 4 draws. They've swept all before them once again, scoring 66 goals, only 27 against, and a healthy plus 39 goal difference. He may well go into the finals as the favourite, but wow, what a clash we could see when Avondale potentially meet Heidelberg United again. Well, stay with us now as we'll head down to the pitch for the Premier's Plate celebrations.
We gotta play cock!
Move around! Want to go on a photo? Move around, keep moving around. Guys! Move around! Anyone else? Move around towards the back, let's go! Come on! Where's Pricey?
We gotta play cock!
Trophy, come!
Stop! Bring it down!
Not yet.
On the count of three. We're over the three. Avondale, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Good. Hey, one more.
Wait, Stephen, wait, I'm coming.
Premiers, are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wait here!
No, Sharky, no!
Say 3, 2, 1. Everyone say Sharky.
Sharky!
Just bringing in the cup. And before we hand it over, Rita, we're going to have a few conversations. Is that right? We're going to start with Mr. Zoran. Head coach Markowski. First of all, this is what I say, we get it all supporters, obviously. Third out we've had this season has been exceptional. I think we're proud to give them some families, partners, parents as well. And it's actually our football brand, the junior program at Avondale, to see all these kids come out every single week at our home games. I think it's a testament to the club where they're moving in the right direction. So we've got a group of players here that are always committed to the cause, especially at the start of the year. Started in November and been challenged every week. And on my end, you look at it for this football club where we've come, especially to win the second premiership in 3 years, is testament to the football club. But we guide them on the weekends to rock up. We prepare them for games in pre-season. But I don't like taking acknowledgement, but from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank my playing group here. 4 games in 13 days. They've rocked up every game here, so even with my coaching staff, I want to thank all the families and partners of the players, especially my family that's been with me all the way my venture at Avondale. So it takes a lot of toll getting up every weekend and getting a group up. The challenge I throw the group every week, like I said, that goes to my boys here, my business boys, so that you rock up every single week. We've had that here for 3 weeks, turned it around. We're like it was 5 points we had. And to be able to give you guys here today, you should be so glad you're here. We've moved the program down to our football club and to be 2025 premiers. That's one hell of an achievement. Yeah. You can play finals in Victoria, but I think home and away legs, 26 games, every club's got an opportunity to be champions. Yeah. For me, this is the biggest trophy in Victorian football. Yeah. Finals, you can come from 6 to win it. But tonight, forth to Avondale, mate, we're the premiers of this state. Well done, Avondale. Bravo, Zombie. Alrighty, let's call up for a few words. El Capitano, Mr. Aidan Price.
I'm a little bit speechless here. I just, from the bottom of my heart, all you guys here today, I just want to say a big thank you. We might not have the biggest fan base in the league, but we definitely got the most loyal one. So from the senior boys, I want to say a big thank you. We've still got finals, still got Oz Cup to go, so keep turning up and we'll put on a show for you. So thanks each guys. And to the senior boys, look, if you listen to the NPL podcast, think today maybe you achieve something fucking special. Sorry about that. But honestly, this group is super special. We've got a lot of leaders, got a lot of talent in there, and not only on the field but off the field. We're a very united group. So I want to say thank you, boys, for making this 2016 exceptional. Let's move on to the final and bring it more home. I just want to say one thing, okay? It takes a lot of hard working people to run a football club, yeah? Without the sponsors to support this football club, Avondale wouldn't exist, yeah? Every year they keep rocking up back to the club, giving us every opportunity to perform there. And there's certain people in this club, obviously Toronto family and Steve being the first president this year when he's just come on board for his first year. Everything we've asked for him for this football club, whether it's a gym to find the goals there, he's delivered for this group. Okay, so whatever we need for recovery, whatever this football club, he's organised everything, and without his board, obviously Redder, Dino, Sharky, Grace, everyone's involved in this football club. What a super effort there. This is part of your trophy as well. And I mean, because without you guys running the board, we wouldn't have this trophy today. So thank you for all your hard work, guys. Really appreciate it.
What a way to lead in hockey. Thinking about Steve Strana, this guy, first year as a president, if you get to know Steve personally, he's the most giving guy you'll ever meet. And I think it's only fitting that we finish off the last speech with a man who's behind it all, Mr. Steve Strana.
For me, the most joyful part of this year is right in front of the kids. And I'm so proud of seeing what we're creating. Because without the kids, the mum doesn't come. The mum doesn't come. The dad doesn't come. So, you kids, please keep coming. Because what we're creating is
Take your hand off the bottom part.
what we're creating for you kids, that's fair base, that's loyalty, and it all comes from the kids. Because my mum only comes now, it's for the grandkids. And that's right. So if we're going to follow my mum's model, we'll be the most successful club. And look how happy Ronaldinho is now. It's about kids, right? And whatever we can do for the kids, we're going to do for them. And then success happens through a club that has a culture and has actually a following of real people and a soul. We have a soul now. And yes, we do have, we're probably the biggest fan bases in, right? In the Heidelberg game, from the Sterling Macedonia to RPR. Right? And then we've also got the female team, which last season won the league also. So, the females and the men on the same day. So I've got 2 daughters as well, 2 boys, so I really want to drive everyone together for the females and the senior men. Right? What a club we're creating, and it's all down to you kids. You keep coming, we're going to put it up. You don't come, we're in trouble. Alright, so I just want to say, finish off with a massive thank you to the boys. What an season, what an effort, and am I proud as president? And Shark, Red, Grace for the first ball that started this year, and am I proud as a person? Absolutely. And it actually makes me how proud I am of the efforts in this team. But it's been one amazing season, and we've got the championship coming up, we've got the final. What a club, everyone. We're on a journey. We're going to Bangkok!
Every week, our numbers are there, bases increase, and this time we'll keep going higher and higher. And once again, the media, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to the Football Federation, thank you for all your efforts.
Red, you gotta hold it! Oh, the other side. Yeah!
We're Avondale, the boys from Avondale. We play, we score, we won. Let's show the number one. Hooray! Was that one? No! That's two! Yeah! We're the fucking champions!
Get your IP reading!
The stream had the delay, so it's going to give one.
So let's get into proceedings here. Thank you for your company. Avondale are premiers for 2025, and we will be back with finals football on the live streams next weekend. 2 elimination finals. Looking forward to your company for those. I've been